Hey guys, welcome to your June 2023 monthly reading. I'm super excited. Yay! I love doing the monthly readings, and well, they come only once a month, and it is what it is. I invite you guys to, of course, take a look at the monthly readings at the beginning of the month or around the beginning of the month, and of course, about halfway through the month or maybe 3/4, it's always great to kind of check back in. I do because I can't remember what comes through the readings since I'm kind of in a trance state. But when I check back in mid-month or about 3/4 through the month, I always manage to relate more of what came through to what has actually unfolded in my life. And there's always advice for me. So I would, invite you guys to come back and check it out and see what's going on. If you'd like to work more personally with me, you know exactly where to find me. And of course, you know by now, we do everything on my channel. So check it out. And we're on the Etsy page, okay? So I'm like trying to jump in and trying to get my spiel out, but already my throat is constricting because in this month of June, it's just blaring blue, blue, blue. So, well, that makes sense because Gemini is a major energy that, well, is occurring during the month of June, right? But also, and actually we're in the time of Gemini right now, we're in Gemini season, but it's interesting because I'm seeing blue blaring. But when I personally think of Gemini, I always perceive it to be green. And that's neither here nor there, but just a reminder to always kind of go with your own gut and make space for what you're receiving and what you're perceiving. And that's why I often put the cards here so that you can see, because even though I'm relaying to you what it is that's coming through my channel, it's always good for you to, yes, take it in, but also, try your hand at doing your own and see what comes up for you, see how they relate, okay? So let me actually go get this card off camera here. Wow. Ooh. It's interesting because I went to just get one card. It's peering at me off camera. And it's this, the throat chakra. There's that blue. That's the blue. And as I was doing that, this card wanted to come along and see that blue. But at the same time, I saw these two. Look at the blue and look at the mirroring, curtains being opened, healing begins, seeking the truth. This looked like it was they're saying right side up, upside down, but they're saying to put it right side up. This gives me a really medical feeling. So I do want to let you guys know that whatever state you are when you come to this reading, you are on the mend. And this makes a lot of sense because we've just gone through quite a lot of inner healing. And remember, when our guides work on us, it's not just, flooding the energy field with energy and vacuuming out. Like, we're getting real medical procedures done for us on our physical bodies, on our non-physical bodies. And remember, the physical body is just a carbon copy of whatever's going on at a higher level of our non-physical fields. But I also want you to, so that's just to show you how important it is to make sure that you're keeping good spiritual hygiene, which we talked about in the Moon and Libra reading that we just posted, but also just to remember that you do go on, right? So once you leave this body, God bless, and the body is, returned to the earth, you are now moving on with your vessel, with at least some of the vessel, because and yes, that does mean that you leave with the issues that are in your non-physical body. So if, for example, you have tearing and rips and vortices and just issues that are in your etheric body, your auric field, in your energetic bodies, your auric field, guess what? You're taking them with you. So that's why when people go to the other side after they transition, God bless, some of them, depending on the state that they passed in and what was going on, they need to get medical care over there, because over there in that dimension and that reality and that frequency, there's a physicality to that. It's not as dense as here. So when we compare the two densities of the other side, wherever it is that you end up going, and here, it's one is physical and one seems, non-physical. But please know that you will carry over those issues that you have. And so I'll just make one more wow, I was going to say plug, but they're saying please. So these are guides coming through, of course, because I'm channeling, right? But they're like, we're making one more plea here. So when you're doing things that abuse your physical body, whether it's smoking, whether it's drinking, whether it's any other form of addictions and things like that, there is always a non-physical component that is going on there. And so when we don't think that, oh, I'm leaving this earthly plane behind, I'm leaving everything. It's always got to be in threes, right? I'm leaving it behind and I'm starting anew. You're heading over to, just another plane. And yes, and they're saying there's somebody, thank you, because I can't channel and then be thinking about how it's being received. So I have some people here helping me. They're not saying that when you pass over you will carry the same ailments. For example, if you if somebody passes with dementia or something like that, we were always like, oh my God, we want to know that people are at peace. And yes, they're at peace, but when they get over there, a lot of times they need medical attention in the way that the non-physical crew can give them. And then, yes, they're clearing up and everything's good. So don't worry. I'm not trying to say that whatever you're addled with here or saddled with here, you're going to just live that same existence over there. No, but what I'm trying to say is do as much as you can here to take care of your health, because you're more than just your physical body. And when something hits your physical body, it's because it has bled through to here, and there are non-physical things that are going on in your non-physical field that need your attention. So I just want to make sure you're not look at this. See, like it's almost like we came in to give this information and now we're separating, and we're so just stay with us, guys. Stay with us, because I'm trying to play two sides of this conversation here. So long story short, it's very important to pay attention to your beliefs, your habits, your things like that. Don't abuse the body as much as you can try, because we're out here, we're doing our best. But remember, living a hedonistic lifestyle, to you, for lack of a better word, we're just going to go straight to that end of the spectrum, is not going to help when you transition. You're not just going to leave everything behind. There are things that you need to work out, because the things that you need to work out are what gave rise to the manifestation here in the first place. So that's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, so if you're like, but wait, my loved ones who passed from this, yeah, I'm sure they're doing well now, but when they went to the other side, a lot of them had to receive additional care, whether it's at the mental level, emotional level, but it's the etheric, there's more than just the etheric body of other bodies, but it's the non-physical bodies that are, needing to be worked on. You know what? There's a movie that I actually really like. It's I believe it may be one that was made in Brazil, but if I remember it correctly, it's called The Astral City, I think. So maybe you may only be able to see it on Amazon, because it's not something that we have on Netflix and Hulu here in the States. But so maybe Amazon, definitely on Amazon, and maybe some other platforms. Check it out. I believe it's called The Astral City. And what happens in that movie is that a man passes, God bless, just regular. They show him in, I think it's in the 1920s or whatever, and he's a doctor, and he, serves his patients. He passes, and the movie follows him as he transitions to the other side, and then he meets up with some of his former patients, as well as his family members, like a group, just he meets people on the other side. And of course they show some of the things that he has to go through, like humbling himself. He spends some time in a little bit of a purgatory, not because of anything he's done, but because of his inability in that moment to forgive himself. And I just want to remind you, it is we who are the judges. Okay, so again, if you struggle to forgive yourself here, guess what you might encounter when you go back home? You're going to need counseling from our amazing medical teams on the other side. I mean, where do you think our doctors here who are amazing get their inspiration? It's all infused. So they help to reestablish certain, they're saying links. Of course, here my lack of medical training is failing me, and they're trying to say certain things, but yes, links, neurological links, whatever, because the body, non-physical body has its own anatomy, right? There's some mirroring things going on, but there are different properties that are also occurring in the non-physical bodies, because guess what? You're no longer in the third dimension, you're in other dimensions with different things. And so there are, and you'll see in that movie, the reason why I brought it up is because once he makes his way to the astral city after kind of going through his stuff and finally giving himself a chance to experience beauty, they're like, hey, you ready? Come on. And they take him. He has to get treated for his wounds. I believe that he had some type, I believe he passed away on the gurney during some type of surgery. I don't know if it was some type of ulcer surgery or something like that. And so when he passed over to the other side, he had that issue in his non-physical bodies. And they used the technology that they have on the other side, because, you know, we out here as above, so below. And that a technology is different. They're using light therapy. We are still receiving, by the way, technologies and healing technologies from beyond. But over there, they already have access to all of this. They're using different interdimensional healing. While down here, there's still some people stuck on terms like woo-woo, and they're just limiting themselves, to be honest, right? And so one of the things that we talked about in the last video that we did, I believe is the Moon in Libra, is that it's very important to become ideologically flexible, because when you're doing that, you're creating your own pathway. There we go again with the openness. You're creating your own pathway to receiving higher dimensional learning. This is the direction that society is heading towards. And if you are waiting for your government and people who do not have your best interests to get a hold of that information and then repackage it and then sell it to you and then use it to, you know, for its own ends, you're not going to get the legitimate thing. You have to understand that these are things you can do for yourself. It just takes a matter of opening your mind up to receiving, up to believing. It's all about belief, and to trying and executing. So anyway, so just a quick heads up that what you do to your body here, it does matter. So do your best, and no one's expecting perfection, because dear Lord, I'm off that train. I don't even think I ever got on, and I don't really know of anyone who has. So just know that a heads up is we do go on. And while you do leave your earthly things behind, you do take your non-physical vehicles, of which you have quite a few. You're just leaving the one body that manifests in the physical, because it is a product of you being in a physical dimension. But once you leave the physical dimension or this level of density, then you're free and you are in your bodies. But those other bodies have certain principles. So go check out that city. Go check out the city. Go check out the movie. It's called, I believe it's called The Astral City. And it's amazing. Love it. It's great. And he does some growth, and he gets to visit his family, of course, after receiving permission, because as you guys know, we talked about it, we can't just have family members running up all over the place, because we have certain lessons to learn, and they can't just come in and tell us this and that, and the answer is, it's just, that would defeat the purpose, and they're just not allowed to do that. So that movie will kind of shed a little light, and it's interesting. All right, so yeah, so we saw this. Thank you. The guides are saying DNA repair as well. DNA repair, all of that non-physical, get with it. This is all non-physical stuff that you can call in. Your medical teams are they're standing there waiting. It's just a medical team just waiting. And I'm not just talking about medical teams that look like us. I'm talking about those who from our perspective would look like galactic cousins. Okay, they share some similarities, but they are more advanced than us in many different ways, because from our vantage point, if we want to put it along a spectrum of time, they're going to appear as if they're coming from our future, because it's just I don't know, I'm not a physicist, but but the whole point is they've got the tech, they've got a lot of information. Your spirit team knows your chart. They know you well, better than your best friend, even down here, better than your mother, better than the person who knew you the most here and that you loved and they loved you. Like, they cannot come close to knowing you as well as your spirit guides know you, because, well, you are the focus. And so yeah, I don't know what else to say, just we have to get with it. So one of the things that you want to do before you do anything else, and we've kind of talked about it before, is to activate the heart chakra. And it's interesting because before I started this video, I programmed the field here to be in an activated heart chakra state. And so if you're coming here, then, and if you're watching this, then you're able to kind of connect into that field that we've created. But just in case, let's go ahead and you can take your hands, super cute, your cute little fingers, and you can just tap on, I don't know, you hear it, on like the sternum area or wherever you feel guided or called to tap. Because remember, what we're teaching is sovereignty. Now, it's not teaching sovereignty, it's reminding sovereignty. You are a sovereign being, so all of this stuff you can do. You really, really can. And guess what? It's free. It's free and it's ubiquitous and it's all within you. And so we're just reminding ways to get back into those practices. So if you like to activate your heart chakra, just go ahead, you can tap it awake, just give it a little tap. You can say, wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey, you can, whatever, open sesame, I come in love, namaste, heart, whatever you'd like. Because remember, by the time the words come out your lips, it's following a thought that you've already had and an emotion that you've already attached to that thought. And by the time the thought comes to your conscious mind, it's already been in the makings in a non-physical. So just so you know, that's like boom, 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 boom. So what I'm trying to tell you is whatever you say, open sesame, eggs, what do they say? Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Open up your heart, right? You can sing to it. Open your heart to me, right? Whatever you want, it doesn't matter. You don't even need words because the intention has already been there. The minute the thought is there, it's already following a blueprint in the non-physical. So you're just, I guess, at the end of the day, you're just showing up to an appointment. So let's go ahead. Let's tippity tap our shoulders as well. They're saying, if you'd like, get there. So what we're doing right now is we are opening up the heart space, and the heart space, of course, expands outward from your body. Whoop. But let's go ahead and start to wake up the region in the physical body. You can tap like this. You can do your fingers. You can rub if you'd like. And I do want to remind you that we have chakras on both sides of the body. So if this is you, super cute, and you turn this way, you're going to see your chakras open up like this. From the cute little circle, then opening wide, right? That's what you look like. They're vortices, they're wheels, they're circles. But in the front of your body, you have them coming outward, but you also have corresponding ones coming out the back as well. All right, so you're just looking like you're walking around with a whole bunch of bugle chips there. And so what I would like you to do is, if you can reach around as well, go ahead, not only tapping on your shoulders, your chest, your everything, your rib cage, your sternum, but see how much you can pat on the back. Now, as you know, we're here doing a very physical kind of wake up, kind of getting the juices going and incorporating touch and the whole somatic side to things. But what I'd also like to invite you to do is to remember that you don't have to lift a finger to do energetic healing, to heal your energetic bodies. So as you're doing that, I'd like you to practice visualizing your heart chakra receiving the wake-up call. Feel what that feels like. See, if you'd like to use your cute little etheric hands or non-physical hands, right? Because your hand in the non-physical body, it looks the same. It's like a carbon copy. So if you have one hand here in your physical, then you have the same hand, but maybe just coming out a little bit more in a different color. Obviously, it's not going to be a cute honey brown. It's going to be like a nice etheric blue, right? So just imagine that you can take that little hand and you can do some tapping energetically. I keep saying etherically because we used ethereal, right, to just mean, but I think let's just use non-physical because the etheric body is actually the name of one of the level of the field. So just go ahead and do a little tapping, rubbing if you like. Let's go ahead and practice with our hands, rubbing up the throat as well, just giving a nice little rub. Don't forget the back of the neck where you've got your throat chakra also extending out the back. So just rubbing that all, and the nape of your neck. You can use your hands to get your physical body involved and your conscious mind involved, but go ahead and flex that non-physical ability as well, and see your little energy fingers. Like today we're all going to be our own doctors. Hey, doctors on the call, right? Yeah, God is good. Go ahead and just stroke anywhere. So, and let's just take a moment. We won't spend forever on this, but in the future we'll make some videos that are just for these kinds of exercises. But like I said, the guides are starting to bring stuff in, so just deal with me with the piecemeal way that things are kind of coming in. We're all here together, learning and not needing to be perfect, but we're just going to spend a few more minutes on this. What I'd like you to do is using your senses. For this one, we're going to use, let's tap into the throat chakra. And just to remind you, the throat chakra is in the middle of the throat, of course, but it corresponds to the ear, the nose, and the throat regions, just like our ENTs in real life. They deal with the ear, nose, and throat. And remember, the non-physical bodies are mirror images to a certain degree of the physical body. So you look similar in many respects. So go ahead and tune in however you'd like to do to that throat region. And some of you, they're saying they'd like to direct you to the solar plexus region or even the heart region. The solar plexus region is going to be that region that's that's underneath the sternum and above the belly button. That corresponds to the solar plexus. The heart is in the middle, of course, and the throat is right here. So go ahead and bring your consciousness to any one of those. Just choose one unless you feel that you're guided to do more. Make sure you're encompassing the back of you, right? The corresponding chakras. And they're saying to go ahead and imagine you're scrubbed up, like scrubbing, like as a doctor. And you just washed your hands and you've got your gloves on. So take your right hand, God is good, right? And just reach into gently, pick out anything that you see is ailing you anywhere. So if you're having shoulder pain, that's probably going to be around the throat chakra region or even around something extending to the heart. So go ahead, wherever you feel, just go in with your etheric hands and you pull it out, right? And I'd like to let you know, and you can keep going because I'm being told that you guys have some all over. I'm getting for somebody liver spots. I don't know who that's for. Go ahead and do that as well. And if you feel called to anywhere else in your body as well, in your abdomen, I'm feeling somebody being called to their abdomen. If you're feeling nothing, even like if you're like, I'm trying to, but I'm not getting anything, it's okay. You can just practice visualizing your hands moving through your body. And for you in particular, you can see, try and see if you can perceive of different sensations as you move your hands throughout different parts of your body. But go ahead and pull out some things that you are getting. If anything, it could even come in the form of conversation coming to mind. Go ahead and pull it out. A song you just heard, a show you binge watched, a pencil you remember looking at on your work desk. All of these are impressions that are floating around in your field, or an argument. And just give you a few seconds to play around in your field. And in this case, we're just going to, it's a contained field, so we're going to vacuum out for your courtesy, anything that you release, right? So go ahead and release. But if you're doing this on your own, just remember that any energies that you pull out, don't just rest it somewhere, because now you have negative energy or low vibe energy hanging out there. So what I like to do is I gently give it to my angels and I thank them, or I have like a bin, like a bottomless golden trash can that I use, and I open it, it's a purifying thing. I just put it in and it's like, boop, it's gone, it's done, it's transmuting. All right. So as you guys play around with that a little bit, what I'll do now is I'll just do a quick clearing for all of us. So since you're, look, I'm in your field. See, look, since you're in your own field, good, and I'm in your field now, see so you're in the subtle bodies. As I vacuum out and I make any adjustments, see if you can feel that as well, okay? All right. And think about where. All right, so what I just did when I just blew across some of your foreheads, frontal cortexes, prefrontal cortexes. And immediately as I did that, I can sense that some of you are going to be moving into medical training. So welcome, yay. However that looks like, I'm feeling that your spirit is going to be starting to move in towards medical training. And this is medical training. So we are going to be covering a lot more medical training principles here on this channel. And the whole idea is to get you fitted. They're saying a lot of you are going to be getting fitted for service, because this is a service channel. And wherever you're going to be dispersed, you'll be dispersed, but it feels a lot like general training right now. So yeah, how exciting. So I just cleared that out. Thank you so much. I'm hearing that cherry picking has got to stop. So I'm not sure who that's for or what that refers to, that selective energies or selecting things. I'm not sure, but don't worry. I also wanted to let you know that I'm pointing out the techniques that I'm using and that I'm perceiving as I'm doing this. So I just use my clairaudience, and I heard that as I'm in your field and I'm clearing out the field. We already saw I blew across your forehead, and that revealed information while clearing energy up. We're going to do a little, they're saying donating. Interesting, because I was going to say DNA, but I'm hearing donating, cord cutting, and I was going to say DNA. So I'm just going to bring those three together. And the reason why is I wanted to switch the order. So some DNA, like let's say if we're going down to some root, doing some deep work, it may be done at the DNA level, right? This is going to change some frequencies and energy circuits and things like that, but from the DNA level. And on another level of the field, closer to our level of the field, one of the techniques that we'll have to also do to help support that, this is the word support, is going to be cord cutting, clearing other people's energies. And then in the physical world, how that's going to come down and manifest, you may find yourself not only discarding of items, but specifically feeling like I need to donate some stuff. I said DNA. I was gonna say donate, and they're saying DNA over me, right? And so the reason why they gave those three is to show you there is always a correspondence that's going on. And so DNA clearing and frequency working and changing, how does that translate to donating here on this? Now, interesting. I love how they keep saying donating, because part of me is like, are we donating DNA? But I'm gonna leave that inquiry for later, because I just wanted to bring that up. Workbook. Okay, great. Just gonna leave that there as well. Okay, so one last thing we're gonna do, since we're still in the field, is I'm going to give you guys the experience of flushing the energies down through your field. And the reason why I say that I'm going to give you the experience is because I want you to see if you can feel it, right? So here you are in the physical, for example, super cute, all encased in love, because we opened that field. Now imagine you've got this other aspect of you at a higher level. That's why it's in the non-physical. To us it looks non-physical, and some people can't even see it. But as we continue to do this kind of work together and on your own, you can start to tune into the different levels of your field. So let's go ahead and flush. So I'm going to literally take energy, and it's all loving energy, and I'm going to make it white and extremely clearing, crystalline kind of energy, and just run it down your field. And to be honest, you can do that for yourself. So you can take whatever time you like. And yes, they're reminding me that when I run this energy down, thank you. When I run this energy down my field, when I'm doing it for myself, I always like to make it one of the properties, because you program your tools. I make one of the properties be a vacuuming. So it's like zzz, and it just vacuums everything up as it goes. And sometimes I pass through more than once, and then I can vary the size. So if I want to get into certain, like my veins, my venous system, I'll just make it smaller. If I want to work in the cellular level, I'll do that. If I'd like to encompass my entire field, I'll do that. Remember, you are the creator, and today on this call, you're all doctors. God bless you, right? Also, what was I going to say? There's something I wanted to say in particular. So when I'm pulling this down my field, obviously we're talking about it in terms of flushing the field, clearing it with the beautiful white crystalline, very, very bright, but not blinding, but so blinding, it's so white, you're like, how come this isn't blinding me? But that kind of bright, clean, fresh light, not only vacuuming as it goes, but it's also coding, because once you're vacuuming, you're pulling things out. So for example, if I'm vacuuming somebody's spinal cord, and spinal cord, thank you. I was going to say field, and they said spinal cord, yeah. So if this is somebody's beautiful spinal cord, and I'm vacuuming it, and there are things here, as I'm going down, it's like zzz, and it's clearing, and when it hits that, and I start to even get in the vicinity, I'm feeling, mother issues. And I'll even get details about it, like, this conversation or that, and this past lifetime, and there's something here. I'm feeling something in the mid-back. This feels related to mother, but it's actually anger, and it's coming from another lifetime with another soul. In that case, and the details come. And or it could be for some of you, maybe this is death energy that's trapped in your body, like you died from something related to the spine. It's going to be trapped there until you learn the lesson, they're saying. And sometimes the lesson is to acknowledge it and to release it, forgive yourself. Sometimes the lesson is about taking care of your body, things like that. So we stand to gather information as we work in our fields, and this is why it's very important that you start to turn to yourself. And of course, I'm here. I'm trying to put myself out of business. This is to show you I really care about just giving you this information, because we all need it. It's reminding you, right? So they're so funny. Oh, thanks, guys. They're like, there's always use for you. I'm like, really? That's me wiping my tears. But anyway, so. And notice this is just, I'm not actually using a tool here, but I'm just using this to show you my visualization of a field coming down and clearing. But interesting that they said I'm not using a tool, because I do want to go and bring a tool that I have used in the past. Hold on. So while I was in Japan, I was just wandering into a crystal shop, and it's funny because I might be going to a crystal shop where I am here for the first time in Northern California. I'm excited. And I saw this, and immediately, isn't it pretty? Immediately as I picked it up, I was like, this is a scalpel. This is something used to cut. So there are, and this, if you followed me in Japan, I was just getting activated to do this work, and I was learning. I'm still learning. So we're all kind of learning together. But if you work with crystals, then if some of you heal with crystals and use them to heal, then you understand that crystals can be used as tools. And so when you're doing crystal healing or working in the energy field, you can use it to make incisions, because we're actively engaging with the non-physical bodies while you're chilling on the bed and living your best life, because I like to when I'm getting healing. But what the healer is seeing is they're actively doing stuff, sewing, all of that. And to us, we can't see that unless you can perceive of it, because we're in too low of a dimension, and the third eye is not honed enough. So we're going to work towards that, and you're going to become more able to do those kinds of things when we continue to kind of teach and remind. Yeah, so let's say that you're scanning and you're like, oh my God, I can't, like, something's blocking my perception, and I feel there's something there in my spine, but I don't know what it is, right? So if you're someone who uses tools, you will know intuitively what tool to use, and you will feel guided on how to use it. But let's just say, for example, I'm going to use this because this type of thing is not so easy. The mother issues aren't so easy to just pull off. This is something that is stubbornly holding on to you as you are holding on to it. Remember, these are belief driven. So when you clear your beliefs, all these can't even hold on to you. They're just gone. But we clear them through the working through of our beliefs. So let's say that I'm doing your field and we're just doing a distance healing, and you're just having a nice nap where you are, because God bless you, right? I want you to be comfy. So as I'm working in your field, I'll be like, oh, what is this? It's stubborn. And sometimes it'll try to snap at me, or, but for whatever reason, we may have to chisel it out. And I want you to know that a lot of you who are watching this, if you watch my shows, that you know that you have spiritual service and you have a lot of training on the other side. So I'm telling you stuff that I'm hearing that a lot of you already know how to do. You just need to remember, and this is part of the activation process for you. So let's say that we clear that. I'm going to go and pull my consciousness down like zzz, but I'm just using this to represent that, zzz, right? And it's feeling good. It's feeling really good. And then I might go here and might be like, oh, what's that? That's really smooth. And it just could be love, not love, but maybe your love for someone or something. And, maybe we want to spread that all around. Maybe we don't want to. And it's like, well, why do you just have all your love situated at the base of your, all this love, it's situated at the base of your spine. Or maybe it was because your belief, right? Maybe you didn't believe that you deserved love in your last relationship. And so anytime that person sent you love, you would tuck it away because that's how you survived your childhood. So you see, when we see that love, we're going to, I may need to like massage it energetically, right? But of course, if you go to get some type of touch therapy and or acupuncture with the needles and stuff, and somebody hits that, you're like, oh, I feel it. And all of a sudden your heart opens. It's so funny because they want me to show you this. Oh, well, maybe later. Anyway, it's this cute little rose that I have off there. But so let's say if I'm in your field and I'm just doing that, I'm just rubbing it. And it'll respond to me. The energy will respond to me. Like maybe it's your inner child, and it'll just hug my hand or something like that. And that's long story short, it'll respond to me in however it is responding. So what you do once you clear your energy, right? You're going to go ahead and then look at the light. It's beautiful. Yeah, bring in light. Okay, yeah, I was going to say that. Bring in light, because the light that's coming in, once you've removed these things, boop, 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 you've kind of created a little bit of a vacuum there. There's a little bit of an energy missing. So we bring in light, and I like to sometimes see it as an etheric paste, like a nice little white paste, and sometimes I like to make it green just because it's the healing energy and stuff. But any color you feel is appropriate, because you're the boss. You sense into your frequencies. And if you don't know, may I invite you to use rainbow frequency energies. That's what I do. I'll just be like, oh, cute rainbow energy, and it's so rainbowy, and it's so fast, and I may have to slow it down a little bit to reach into certain parts. And see how my hand's like shaking a little bit? That's me containing it, for example. And then I may need to rub it up the spine, right? And the guides are saying that the result, the feeling that the other person would feel is this feeling of love. It'll be like feeling also nurtured, because what's happening, we're rubbing loving light energy, which is very much what source is made of, right? Loving, at least here in this dimension, light is a very reminiscent energy of that. Here in this universe, it's very reminiscent of that. So we're going to rub it in and encase it, and then we'll seal it, right? And you can seal it however you like. I seal it with love. I seal it, maybe the guides might sew, use thread and stuff with their energies. So anyway, I guess this is what we needed to see. I need to learn to surrender and just let spirit lead the trajectory of these messages. So I'm so thankful. Thanks, guides, for this that's coming through today. Today we just looked at a little bit of information about how to work within the energy field, how it feels for someone receiving that work, and how it may be perceived by someone doing the work. And remember, it's all hands-free. It's all free in general. You can learn to do this. Now, I do want to let you know that one of the major hallmarks of this work that I do, and that we're trying to kind of spread here, is heart-based. It has to be heart-based. Everything, this whole new age, when I say new age, I mean age of Aquarius, our future moving forward, new earth consciousness is founded upon the activated heart chakra. And so that's why I said earlier, the first thing you want to do is activate that heart, because once you activate the heart is the generator, and it brings the rest of the field into alignment. So we start to activate the heart through our intention, like open sesame, whatever, and you envision that heart chakra expanding to bring in your entire field. And your field is some feet in diameter. It's not just like, oh, right here. It's some feet in diameter. And one way to kind of get a nice read on whether someone has entered, like where your field is. Let's say, for example, you and I are in this room together. Hello. And let's say you're just working, you're doing your thing, and I'm kind of on the side of you doing my thing, and I'm kind of over here. But maybe I might just move over a little bit to reach something, and all of a sudden you become aware of me and you look left. It's not because you saw me, because I was in your peripheral all that time, but I entered into your field. And so you see it's some feet over here, and I just entered there, and then you, oh, hey, what's going on? Oh, nothing, I'm just getting a pencil. So just so you know, look around your room right now. Maybe it's a good exercise we can do. Look around your room right now and see if you can think in diameter around me, how wide is my field? Like, look left, and we're just following on the carpet. Where would you say just intuitively it ends, right? And then look to your right. Where intuitively does it end? And then you can do the front and the back, and of course you can do above and below. So, we're almost done. Anything else that we want to say? So, I guess June is going to be a major healing month. Oh, what I was going to say is, even though you are learning to heal yourself, and by all means keep doing it, I do it every day, all the time, I want you to know that sometimes you do need somebody to come in and work on your field. Like me, for example, I'm working with somebody now who's working with me on my field. And one of the things that I need right now is assistance with geopathic stress. And so geopathic stress is basically looking at the way that the energetic field of the home you're in, or where you work, or whatever the location is affected by energetic streams, or by energy patches, or just the energy there. So somebody who does that is very, very helpful. And it's something that I'm going to be referring to all of my clients that I do energetic work on, because it's very, very helpful to start doing the energetic work and stuff. But you also want to make sure that you're clearing the area where you are, so that when you come home, you're not just being assaulted by whatever the energies are again, right? And of course, the more tools that you start to learn, the better and the more you're able to start tuning into your body and using your sovereignty to heal yourself and to work with yourself. Of course, you're going to start to find other types of modalities to assist you with, but definitely working with the individual energy field, and then of course with the energy, the spatial energy around you is super important. Oh, they're so cute. Oh my God, they're so cute. They're like, call me. Yes. Listen, my guides, they're out here marketing for me more than I do. Thanks, guys. Yeah, this is a medical card, right? Call me. But anyway, yeah, so this is kind of what they wanted to talk about. Thank you so much. I just felt her like, shoot, lift out. God bless you. So we're going to be doing a lot more I don't want to give a label, but we're going to be doing a lot more stuff, whether it's medical training or whatnot, because I'm like, dude, I need some too, but I'm learning on these calls as well, guys. Remember that I'm just kind of the channel here, and I'm learning too. But let's see what else. But I do feel that some of you are going to be, they're saying, making your stamp, making your mark in the medical field. And remember, the word medical field today is being expanded. It's usually used just to talk about the physical science, the medical field for the physical body and for the psyche, right? But as we move forward, you're going to start to see a whole bunch, and I mean a whole bunch of new healing, integrative healing stuff that we already have here, but finally being able to come down even more thanks to the pioneers who are pioneering things like sound therapy, light therapy. What was I just heard about? Scalar energy healing, right? All these things. It's people are like, what is that? Right? It's out here. And in the future, not too distant future, and we already have some now, you're going to start seeing a lot more energy healing centers where it's holistic, it does it all. And eventually, as I said, that 45 minutes, 45 seconds, eventually we're going to see the physical body medical doctors to whom we are so thankful, starting to work with those who cater to the non-physical bodies. I mean, if that's not sacred union, I don't know what is. Okay? And a lot of you are going to be playing your own role in that. Wow, that was very magic. I just felt like magician. What's that about? Okay, so let's we've got 15 minutes left in this hour, so let's go ahead and see what other stuff we can talk about for June. Thank you. In general, yeah, okay. Yeah, this just looks exactly like what I was just saying. We're going to be talking about some techniques, and we're going to be talking about a lot. I have a lot of stuff that we're working on. It's just that, I do work 40 hours a week, and so on top of that, running a whole business and still, trying to make time for myself and renovate and do my own trauma healing and taking that and bringing it back into this. So it's just about taking the time, but we're going to be bringing out more of that. And it's interesting, the guides are saying that something that you guys can do, if this is all interesting to you, is start to take command of your own learning centers. It's interesting. And what that means, of course, it's a nod to your non-physical learning centers, because in a non-physical, with your non-physical bodies, if you want to learn something, you just ask. Oh, hey guys, I would love to learn how to make a cake. I'd love to learn how to draw a rose, doodle a rose. Doodling it, it'll come to me a few days later, or I'll be directed. So think about what that can do. If you want to know, what is this whole thing called the crystalline grid? What is it? What is geopathic stress? What is it? I'm busy, I blah blah blah, so please, universe, bring it to my attention. That's how you ask. You ask the universe to bring information. Your guides are like on it, and they're just sending it down to you. And so that's what I'm seeing here, but you have to ask. So in addition to that, they're also saying do the legwork to be an autonomous learner in your field. They're looking at me. Why? I can't even see your eyes, but I know you're looking at me. So to keep broadening your horizons, go to the library, get a book. So they're going to be teaching us more about the energy field. And so if you know that, then why don't you hop online, guys? They're talking to you now, not me, but you. Sorry, my guides are really fun. Hop online and start looking at that. But anyway, we'll bring that through. There you are. Surrender to the magic of who you are. So as I'll always say, 48 minutes, 48 seconds. I'm not out here giving you anything new. If you're connecting to my channel, this is not your first rodeo. I'm just here to kind of help remind you as my guides are reminding me, so that I can step into my mission work and doing what it is that I've been placed here to do, which coincidentally has to do with teaching, but I'm getting it together. So the question is, what is it for you? What are you guys being called to do? But whether or not you're aware of what moves you, everybody has to go through the same thing, and it's the basics. It's learning how to see your projections and to own them so that you can take control of your life, right? This is what healing is. Healing is just changing your perceptions, healing your perceptions. Those beliefs that you've got going on in your inner core that are saying you're not good enough, you're not lovable, all of that, you have to change it. And sometimes that takes lifetimes, right? But I do want to say, as someone who does look at people's lifetimes, how do you know that this isn't the lifetime where you're finally nipping it in the bud? If you remember, the May 2023 reading was all about finally closing out something major after lifetimes of doing that work. And I believe that the example that they called from the collective, because they always call examples from someone in the collective, was that it was like after 11 lifetimes, someone was finally hanging up the hook of something, and it's like, yeah, good for you. And someone else recently that I did some work for, 16 lifetimes. So you have to understand that you are making progress. It's just that, we're so limited in our vision. And for the first time really in the modern age, because remember back in the day, people were doing it big in terms of their understanding of the non-physical fields, but a lot of that has been lost to time, or covered over, or sequestered, or hidden away, right? But this is the first time in our modern times where people are starting to really broaden their perception. And when you start to broaden your perception and you're taking in your awareness and your understanding, and with flexibility and an activated heart chakra, you're taking in the non-physical fields, 51 minutes, 15 seconds at 5115 to complement the physical body. What you're doing is you're literally working on an interdimensional level. That's why they say you are a multidimensional being. Let's say that you're actually this tall. Your body, you as a being are this tall. But from the third dimension, you're only capable of seeing this much. And so you're just seeing like the shin, like the mid shin and down here. And you think this is what you call yourself. But you don't know you're a whole body. You're just a whole body, and you just don't know that. And so that's what we're trying to do now. We're just trying to open up our consciousness to encapsulate more. All right. So the first thing that we're kind of looking at is activating the heart chakra and learning how to tap into the body and to feel your way around so you can be doing some healing. Feels like we're going to be doing a lot of directing about healing principles over the next 3 months. You saw this over the next 3 months, and it's my pleasure to do it. And they've already talked about some topics to tackle, so I'll get on it. I'm sorry. I'm rushing up. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it at this. I know I said June 2023, but it looks like June 2023 is going to have a major healing influence, at least for this collective, because it's interesting because as I'm saying that, I felt like almost like this collective lift off from the mainstream. So we are already a niche crowd in a sense, like, not everyone out here is needing this information. But if you're on here and you're still here, hello. You're one of them. And so we're taking you off on a little bit of a different, trajectory. And so we're just going to surrender. Oh, surrender. Wow, there it is. Surrender. Yeah. We're just going to surrender to spirit and allow them to kind of take us through our paces. Okay. All right. So anyway, I'm going to leave it here because I'm such a perfectionist. I'm going to try to do so much And if you have any questions, you know exactly where to find me. If you'd like to work more personally with me, whatever it is, I just got the word chocolate, so that's for somebody. Chocolate, how cute is that? I don't know, but I would love some chocolate. But if you'd like to work with me, you know where to find me. I just got a hat as well for somebody else. Anything else, guys? Oh, stapler? Okay, sure, okay. And they're saying medical training, okay? Yay! Ooh, ooh. Okay, I'm gonna stop. All right, bye, you guys. God bless you. Stay tuned for the astro reels, okay?